Well, hello. I've gotten some plastic surgery, as you can see. Is that an improvement? I'm not sure. Anyway, so we are doing another video here tonight. We're in the darkness, and somebody keeps texting me. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so it is 1:15 on a Tuesday. It is February, hold on, let me look. It is February the 13th. Holy cow, it's the 13th. So I want to do another vlog. And we want to remind everybody to like and subscribe to the Hauntworld channel, because we are only sharing information here on the Hauntworld YouTube channel. We are sharing information with you, trying to help you and help your business grow, get better, get stronger. And I'm going to talk to you today about what does it take to renovate a haunted house. And while I talk about that, we're going to go into the darkness and see what difference a day makes. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about how to renovate your haunted house, how to operate it better, and what are the steps you need to take to operate your haunt. Okay? Before we do that, we have a sponsor. And the sponsor is the Darkness Haunted House Tour. Okay. No, it's fearticket.com, the best ticketing system in the country. But no, it's the Darkness Haunt Tour. If you're watching this video, like after the haunt tour is over, if we do a haunt tour, I have to say this over every single video, but every March in St. Louis, Missouri, there's a haunted house trade show. It's a haunted house and Christmas attraction show. It's here in St. Louis, and my haunted house, The Darkness, is here in St. Louis as well. And let me take a look at my buddy again. There he is. He's pretty frightening, huh? And every year that show is here in March. If you want to learn more about it, go to haashow.com. This information I'm going to talk about today is relevant year-round, every year, any day of the year, okay? However, the haunt tour is related to what's happening at this year's Transworld, which is March the 7th, 8th, and 9th. We have a Darkness Haunted House tour and the Limp Haunted House. So you can get the tickets at darkness.fearticket.com, and we're kind of daily vlogging to show you what we go through to get a haunted house ready to go for Transworld. Or just to get your haunted house ready. When we open for Transworld, it's the same exact thing as if you were opening for, your first night in September. It's a little bit different because we're trying to get it ready in March, when most haunts are trying to get ready by the beginning of September. So the first year that we did these Darkness Haunt Tours was the first year that Transworld had ever done a haunted house trade show. It was right here in St. Louis. Now, check this out. Look at these really disgusting bodies here. And we're going to drag one of these, and we're going to talk while I drag one into the haunted house. And I'm going to get my steps in by dragging dead bodies into the haunted house. Now look at this right here. I made a video on TikTok of dragging one of these dead bodies into the darkness and then stopping to see an animation trigger. That video is at 4 million views as of today. And on Instagram, it's at 10,000 views, which is a lot for Instagram. I do have one video on Instagram that's over 2 million. But I have one video on TikTok that's 50 million. I have another video on TikTok that's 25 or 30 million. And hold on, sorry that it's dark in here. I'm gonna get here where there's more light. Give me a chance. Yeah, but that's a lot of views, folks. A lot of views. Are you in here?
Yep.
Okay, so we're not alone, thank God, because I'm a little scared right now.
I thought you weren't scared of ghosts.
I thought we were gonna get that big demon guy in here.
After I get this, I'm almost done with this. I just got intense.
So I'm dragging these dead bodies in here.
Hey, air blaster almost ready.
Oh, you almost got the air blaster? So let's take a look at some of the things that we've added. And I'm starting to realize here, you can't see anything in here. Man, you can't see that. Let me pull out my phone. All right, here we go. Can you see it now? Yeah, you can see it now. There's a dead guy. Now, look at what we're doing. We're taking these dead guys and we're piling them up everywhere. Now, this is a big mess. That's not ready to go. And there's none ready to go here either. But if Nick will move out of the way.
You show him the big monster? Are you telling him where you're going to put the new monster?
We're going to put one right here.
Yeah.
And then you can see we're kind of sort of trying to position these bodies, because this is part of trying to get your haunted house ready to go for the haunt season. And in our case, trying to get ready for the haunt season and Transworld at the same time. So you can see, and by the way, Nick, there's no sound on this tree. Now, something has drastically changed in here. I'm going to show you. And this is, I'm telling you, this is so scary. Do you see these pilgrim, you know, like Salem, you know, look how realistic they are. These are from Unit 70. Okay, we really need to, they picked the worst rope possible. Even though I have burlap rope, they picked this rope. It was so terrible. We're going to have to like paint that.
Is that the best noose you've ever seen, though?
Who did it?
I don't know.
Yeah, but they picked the worst rope. Okay.
The white rope.
Yeah, should have been the burlap looking rope. But anyway.
You can go through and like put some stain on it.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to do something. Anyway, so look at this. Now think about this. People are gonna bump into these, okay? And so somebody who just left, and look at that, that's gonna be rocking, okay? This one will be rocking. They'll all be moving when you walk into this room. And that's the whole goal, is that, you know, these people are moving, rocking, and rolling, okay? So like this one will be moving. Okay, and then you got the CGIs. Now, another thing that we did today is we mounted an air cannon underneath there. So that was just done. An air cannon was put into there. And we're also going to be putting an animation there. We had to go buy a cable today, and we got that. So we're getting further along than we were the other day. And I think I showed you this in the last video. Now, there's a couple things that got done. Like, you see that them doors got put back on. And you know what else got done? See, this opens, but it's locked, I guess. The big skull Goliath prop from Gorglore, that was put back on. And then you have this. And you have the big old prop from Unit 70, the big devil. You got, it's all coming together here, folks. It's all coming together. This was secured in. It's just absolutely beautiful. I need a more high-powered light to see in here. But it really is just all coming together right when it needs to. So a couple things. I'm gonna walk back out here where you can actually see. Let me come out here. Hold on. The battery life on my camera is really low. So I have to come out here where you can see, and I'm just going to talk about some tips for you and steps you should take to renovate your haunted house. Now look at that thing. Isn't that freaking cool? So here you go. Some tips for you to renovate your haunt, because that's what we're doing right now. We're trying to renovate the darkness. And let me tell you step by step what it takes to do it the right way. So let me grab a seat, get comfortable, and I'm going to explain it to you. Okay? The very first thing you want to do is get a dumpster. That's the first thing when you're going to start the process. But truthfully, the first thing you want to do is determine what space you're going to renovate. What are you going to renovate? What are you going to do with the space? And be sure, and here's the best tip I can give you. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Okay, so I want to do something over here, I want to do something over there, I want to do something over here, and then you run around and try to, like, you know, decapitate all these areas. And then, you know, and if you're like us and you're doing Krampus and you're doing Valentines, our new goal is to have the new section that we want to take out removed before Krampus. All removed, all kind of infrastructure start like going into place. And then you kind of walk through the Krampus section and with the lights off in that area, and we kind of rail it off or put a wall up so you can't see it. I remember, for example, when we were building the sewer section. So when you get to the sewer section, we just put a wall in front of the sewer section. So you hit that and you went right into the TerraVisions in 3D. So you never even went into the sewer section. You didn't even know it was there. You basically, about 800 square feet of the haunted house was just cut off. You couldn't see it. You couldn't go through it. And if you're going to open for these special events like Krampus or My Bloody Valentine, things like that, you absolutely, rule number one is don't bite off more than you can chew. So you can start a renovation process when your season ends, but just tear out a section, okay? And then figure out, like, oh, I'm going to open for Krampus. You got to have a pathway to get past it. And if you're going to open for Valentine's, try to make it your goal to get that section done before Valentine's. So that would mean that you want to start ordering props that you think you might want for this new section in October. You heard it here. You want to know how I've been doing the Darkness Haunt tours and getting them done by the time Transworld happens? I was literally figuring out what I was going to do in October. Do you know why you want to figure out what you want to do in October? Or even September, for that matter? It's because you see it over and over and over again, and it just becomes like, hey, when the people come for Transworld, they think it's all, like, you know, really cool looking. They see it for the first time. But I've seen it over and over and over again. And basically, when you see something again and again and again, it doesn't have the same appeal to you. And you start to see all the flaws of it, and you start to think about it, and you go, what section should we take out? Well, it should be this one. This one's the worst one. And so you identify the section you want to remove. When you're doing a renovation, stick to one thing at a time, because you don't want to overextend yourself. Like, oh, I got to put something here, over there, over here, over there. Just do one thing at a time. Get it all torn out. Once it's all torn out, start putting that scene back together. Now, you want to go do another scene, that's fine. Leave the other areas totally set up. So let me give you a prime example. I have been advertising that TerraVisions 3Ds for sale. Okay. I said, hey, this is going to be the last year for TerraVisions. I think I even said this the year before. Well, next year is definitely going to be the last year for TerraVisions. I was going to take it out this year. Let me tell you why I did. Because I decided I wanted to renovate this really bad section of the darkness that was nothing but black walls and black maze, and I wanted to do that. So I did not tear out TerraVisions and that section simultaneously. So you still plan on doing TerraVisions, but what makes sense is to do one thing at a time. So the section that we decided to do took a lot longer, and it always does. And now you're up against Valentine's. Our Valentine's event is next Saturday. Now imagine if I had taken TerraVisions out. Valentine's is in 5 days. I haven't even had a chance to finish the section I'm on, much less check the whole haunted house to start building something new in TerraVisions. So let's say I was going to do TerraVisions. You know when a good time to start that would be? After Transworld. In other words, get the new section done, and then if you have the time, start tearing TerraVisions out when you have a whole new stretch of time when you're not going to open again. So I would have from March to September to get TerraVisions torn out and replaced. That's if I was going to do that. I have done enough cool things for Halloween 2024 that I don't need to remove TerraVisions. So next year, if I was going to renovate TerraVisions, for example, that means I'm going to tear the 3D out. So the first thing I actually would like to do is find a buyer for it and see if that buyer would come remove it. And he would bring an army of people, he would get it out really quick, and I might be building the replacement for it already. Because my Christmas event would happen, I would barely be able to get TerraVisions out before the Krampus event. So that means I would have to make a corridor from the end of the haunted house to get them into the lobby. That'd be a long walk, by the way, and they wouldn't see anything. Oh well. This is what I'm saying. You have to plan this. You have to plan this meticulously. Don't try to take out multiple things. Do one thing at a time. This is why when we renovate the darkness, I do it by section. So I'm not renovating something over here, over there, and over there. Now I did that the first few years of the Transworld Haunt Tour. It killed me. I learned the best thing to do is just focus on a little area, tear the whole thing out, and then do another section the next year. It's what makes the most sense. But you have to know what you're doing in October. You have to order all the stuff you're going to need in October so that by the time you start to get it all built, all that stuff starts coming in. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So this is the process. This is the process. Okay? And every year we're right up against it to get the new props in and get them installed just in time for Transworld. But now we've moved our deadline back to, we want to have this up and running by my Bloody Valentine. And it's actually really nice because now you can walk away. And if you're like me and you have another venue, like in our case, Creepy World, we can shift gears to Creepy World. Or we're going to shift gears and build our Alien Escape, our 8th escape room. So this gives you the ability to shift gears and do something else. So if you are a haunted house owner and you really want to go to the next level and build escape rooms, or focus all summer long on building another attraction, another venue, you need to get your haunted house renovated in the winter. This is before Transworld ever happens. And that means you got to order props without ever seeing anything new at Transworld. But hey, the good news is when you go to Transworld, you can see stuff and you can think about, for next year. Okay, that's one way to look at it. So whenever we renovate the darkness, it's actually renovated in my mind in October. Orders are being placed in October. Tear out starts the day after we close. Now think about it, you close on like a Saturday, it's your last night. Take Sunday off, and Monday you're ripping stuff out, a dumpster's there, and you're ready to go. That's the first thing you do. The second thing you do is start building back the infrastructure, okay? The walls and putting things in place. and then build out the scenes. And the very last thing you do is to paint it. And then once it's painted, you start moving your new props in, and hopefully, because you ordered them in October, they're starting to trickle in. So when you think about this Darkness Haunt Tour renovation that we've been documenting, and if you look on my Facebook page, you'll see I did a Facebook Live essentially like in an empty spot, and we just barely started building. And the one thing I will tell you, a lot of people will say, oh, let's get some drawings, let's get some, concept drawings. I mean, you can do that, and I've done it in the past, but we never follow the drawings. To be honest with you, we never do. And we just kind of sort of do it as we feel it. I would suggest that if you're building something, like in our case, like we want to do a Salem's Witch Church, obviously you can go to Google or Yahoo or whatever, and you can start searching for that. You can go on Shutterstock and start searching for it. So that is an option to you, that you can go to the internet and you can look for imagery. And you can go, oh, I like a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this. Now you've got it in your head. Once you start building the infrastructure and you start to get it all together, one of my favorite things to do is to take a big, giant black marker, the ones with the big tips, and draw things on the wall. So everybody's on the same page. The other thing that I like to do, and that is if you're not actually there all the time when the construction's going on, is every night I like to make videos of stuff I like or don't like, and I text them to all the guys that work for me so they know what are the issues and what aren't the issues. In case I'm not there when they're working on it, they know the night before. So that's a great thing about the phones today, is I can be here at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I can make a video and point things out. I can take a marker and I can draw things on the wall. I can draw like where I want a pillar. I can draw where I want it cut out. I can draw where I want a slat. I can draw where we need to add something. So really, the main thing that you need to do when you're renovating is you need to be kind of like all in with like carpenter type people only. And then once you get it built out, another thing that is really important, and which is really nice about Amazon and Facebook, is that you can go to Facebook Marketplace and you can find like specific props you're looking for. Let's just say you need an old antique stove. It's not hard to find thanks to Amazon. It was Craigslist, and I guess now it's Amazon. So it's not hard to find. And if you know all of the antique type dealers and stores in your market, you can obviously go hit them all up. One of the things I'm going to tell you, which is a great tip, when you're going out to look for antiques and stuff, take a truck and a trailer, or take a box truck. Take 2 or 3 people with you, because whenever you're trying to renovate, the thing that kills you the most, okay, now mark this down, the thing that kills you the most is going for materials. So when you go to, say, a Home Depot type of place, or a Menards or whatever, and they say, we need 1 roll of this, you buy 3, because guess what, they're going to use it all, and they're going to be like, I need more of that. Well, why'd you tell me to buy 1 and I bought 3? You need 8 eye hooks, buy 20. We need 1 box of fender washers, buy every box they have, because you're going to use a ton of them. They didn't tell you they need new washers. Just buy them anyway because you're there. Whenever you go shopping for materials, buy more than you need because you're going to use it. Because I'm telling you, what kills any renovation is spending all your time going after materials. Oh, I got to go again today, and go again, and go again. And you spend 2 hours, 3 hours. It's a waste of time. Go once and try to get everything. When you go out looking for props and antiques, one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to buy them off of Facebook, for example, is because I got to drive 20 miles this way, 18 miles that way, 16 miles this way to go get all this stuff, okay? Yeah, you'll spend days. So try to hit up the cool antique places and take 2 or 3 people with you. Do you know why you take 2 or 3 people with you? Because I just point. get this, take it up there, get this. So I spend most of my time looking, and there's always somebody with me at all times. Get that, take this, take that. And yes, I do pick them up myself and drag them over there. But what I'm trying to do is plow through this place literally in less than an hour. You can get that done if you take 2 to 3 people with you. You point and shoot, and just start piling it up. And then you're paying for it, and they're just carrying out and loading it up, and you're going to the next place. And you try to get this done in a day. Hit 2, 3, 4 places and really knock it out. Another really good place to find stuff is these rehab places where they literally gut homes and they take all the cool stuff out and whatever. You can find a lot of really cool stuff in these places. And thanks to Instagram, you can find all these places, And so if you know where they are, take a big truck, go and knock it all out at once. Go to Home Depot, literally don't just take a truck and a trailer and get it all. Get everything. So you know what? Today, we're trying to get this done and they need a whole bunch of materials. Do you know what I did? I bought a whole bunch of materials, like $2,500 worth. I had to go to 3 places, okay? 3 places to get stuff, okay? They didn't tell me they need any zip ties. I bought them anyway. Oh, they didn't tell me they needed liquid nail. I bought it anyway. And you know what? You never have enough extension cords and whatever. So you just buy it because the stuff you always need, so always grab it. This helps. If you coordinate and plan how you're going to get these renovations done, everything should line up. My other biggest suggestion is not to do one scene over here and like one other scene down there. No, do that section next year. So I'll just take, this combination of 2 scenes. We're gonna better connect this section to the section we renovated 2 years ago over there. And so we're gonna take 2 scenes out back to back, and we're gonna make new scenes that connect everything better with the storyline. Now, so we're on the same page. The darkness is like 3 haunts in one. The downstairs is like gothic monsters, underworld kind of stuff. The upstairs is more haunted mansion-ish. And then of course you have the clown house. And then it's actually 4 because then you have the lobby with the gift store. And then I guess you could say it's 5 because the outside is the outside scare zone, which actually I think is everybody's favorite section now. That's also where we have photo ops and everything else. So it's like 5 in 1 in a way. You can say you have the outdoor section, you have the downstairs, the upstairs, TerraVisions, and then now the gift store and that whole lobby area with the 5-minute escape is like an attraction of itself. And so you might be looking at, hey, you know what we need to do? We need to grow revenue. We need to add another attraction. So you know what is a great idea? Go into the back half of your haunt and say, hey, let's take out 1,500 square feet. So we're going to take out the last 3 scenes and we're going to build a big, nice exit lobby with a big gift store. And we're going to put some horror video games in here, or we're going to put some cool monsters with photo ops, which that works as well. And we're going to do that. And that's what our focus for 2024 is going to is to remove the last 3 scenes of the haunt and build a big, ending area where people can come in and take photos and buy horror stuff and whatever, okay? That could be a great renovation for 2024. Does that make sense? And so you just have to decide what is the most important thing to you. Knock that certain section out so that your haunt technically could still operate if you're doing special events, because I know a lot of haunts do. But that's how you do it. That's how you get it done. Would I wait until the summer when it's like super hot? Think about it this way. When you're working in the summer, it is so hot that people, when it gets really hot, they don't have the ability to work very fast for very long. Work in the spring, work in the winter. You can work much faster and you get lots of stuff done. And you'll also find that when you order stuff, it's easier to get and you're going to get it on time. But you need to order when you're still operating. And that's when we decide to do any and all renovations. is when you're looking at your haunt and you're just getting bored of it. And when you get bored of it, you start to see things that, is that really that bad? Oh, yeah, I guess it is. That's got to go. Well, that's what you need to replace. Now, I will tell you another thing when it comes to renovating your haunt. It's not a bad thing to go to YouTube and watch some videos of other haunts. It's not a bad thing to come to the Darkness Haunt Tour. It's not a bad thing to go to the Legendary Haunt Tour, or look around the country and see what haunts might be open on days you're not open. And by the way, one of the things I will say is you don't have to be at your haunt every day. So you got to trust the people that work for you, that you can pick up and like go for a day. I'm not saying leave on a Saturday, but maybe you could go on a Wednesday and a Thursday and come back on Friday and run your haunt over that weekend. So go see some haunts, get some ideas. And I will tell vendors, that's what you need to do. You need to, like, vendors, haunt vendors. I mean, I'm sorry. Okay, I know that I'm telling it at least the way I see it. I think it's very accurate. In my opinion, the Transworld show has been very stale the last 3 or 4 years. I haven't seen anything new. There's no wow factor to it. I mean, I'm not saying there's not cool stuff. Yeah, there's cool stuff, but there's nothing that makes my toes curl or makes my eyes pop out of my head. It's like the same thing every year. And I can tell you how, if I'm a vendor, how I could really stand out. And that would be to get in your car and do a Griswold family vacation. And you just say, hey, I'm going to go to, I'm just going to say Gorgalore, okay? I'm not saying you need to do something different. I'm just picking you because Indianapolis popped into my head. So I'm Gorgalore and I'm somewhere near Indianapolis. Okay. So I'm going to go to Indianapolis. I'm going to go there and I'm going to take one Friday night and hit all the haunts, talk to the owners, get their feedback. Hey, how's my props holding up? What would you like to see in the future? Oh, that's great. That's great. Take some notes. And then on that Saturday, I'm going to drive to Chicago. Indy to Chicago, that's pretty close. And then I'm going to go hit up those haunts in Chicago. I'm going to talk to those customers. And then I'm going to go from Chicago, I'm going to go down to St. Louis, and then on a Sunday, and I'm going to go back to Indianapolis area, whatever. I'm just saying, like, if you're Gorgalore. If I'm Ghost Ride, they're in Idaho, obviously you could fly over to Los Angeles. You can hit all those haunts, okay? You're really not driving anywhere if you're from Idaho. He's really a bad example. But if you have if you're a vendor and you're in, say, Columbus, Ohio, you can obviously see the haunts in Columbus. You can go to Cleveland. You can go to Detroit. Chicago's actually not that far away. The point is to get in your car and go see some haunts. Go talk to the owners, get their feedback, get their suggestions, get their ideas. They've got great ideas. Haunt owners have great ideas. They use your products. They know them very well. And they've got ideas for you. Take advantage. And vendor and haunters, you're talking about doing renovations. You know, the best time to make a suggestion, if you want to get a custom prop made, is in October as they're winding down. Like, oh, we're shipping our last product. Hey, could you make this for me? If they were ever going to say yes, it would be like, oh, yeah, I might be able to do that when all of our orders are shipped. That would be probably about the only time you could get something custom made, is if you asked them in October or late October or early November. Just saying. So vendors, be wide open to taking ideas and going to see haunts. Haunt owners, free up some time, trust some people that work for you. Take off a Wednesday and Thursday, find some haunts you can go visit, and go visit some haunts. Introduce yourself to those haunt owners, talk to them, ask them, hey, how's marketing going for you? What are you doing? What are your customers responding to the most? It's called, trying to learn from other people. It's a great thing. It's an absolute great thing. And by the way, that's what the Darkness Haunted House Tour is all about. It's all about coming to the darkness and learning from another haunt. And we feel a lot of pressure to deliver, which is why we spend so much time, so much money and so much effort. And by the way, I have totally ruined myself by making this video and talking about it in the past, because more haunt owners are doing just what I just explained. They're getting to Transworld before, they're getting their stuff long before the show ever happens. And you know what I heard? And I'm not dogging on 13th Floor Entertainment, but it's my understanding like they've bought damn near all of the props from all the vendors. They're literally taking semi-trucks of props home with them. Whole animation companies have sold everything to them. All gone before Transworld even happens, which is kind of wild when you think about it. And, you know, I know other haunts have made dibs on props as well. That's why when you get there, there's not a lot that you can take with you. So the sooner you talk to these vendors, the better. Because wouldn't it be great if you said to Ghost Ride, for example, hey, could you make this prop, and that prop? Yeah, I can make all that. Could you bring it to Transworld, in fact? And could I pick it up there while you display it as a new prop, and I'll take it home with me? How's that tip sound to you? Anyway, come to the Darkness Haunted House Tour. It's darkness.fearticket.com. That's where you can get the tickets. And one last thing I want to address, and I want to make this like crystal clear for all the really, can I say dumb people out there? Maybe I'll get criticized if I say that. Could I say all the peanut butter and jealous people out there? Look, if you don't like the fact that St. Louis is the host of the Transworld show, and the Darkness opens and you think we make all of this money and it's not fair and the show should move to another city so you can tour more different haunts and somebody else can have a chance to do a haunt tour. Well, let me address that. I have told Transworld multiple times to move the show. Why do I want the show moved? Because I feel an overwhelming pressure to spend a lot of money to do something no one's ever seen before. And I think that we've done that this year. You know, building all those walls out of coffins and a ceiling out of coffins. It reminds me of the bathroom scene we did where we did the ceiling out of dead bodies. And I really think that we've done something great this year. And I think a lot of people are going to really be inspired by it and like it. But when I'm thinking about the Transworld Haunted House Tour and we're thinking about how to renovate your haunt, I am literally thinking about this in September. Because I will tell you, when it comes to Creepy World, and we're in the throes of trying to renovate the Darkness, for some reason, I cannot think about what to do at Creepy World. When I'm at Creepy World every day running the haunt, I cannot think of what should we do with Creepy World. You know why? Because all I'm thinking about is the Darkness. What should we do with the Darkness? What can we do with the Darkness? And I'll literally be thinking about it till like literally I'm taking this mallet right here and going bonk, bonk, bonk. And this is what I'm thinking about like all day long. And then I'll come down to the Darkness, I'll get on ladders and I'll look overhead and I'll try to figure it out. What could we do? What could we do? What could we do? What could we do? And then we figure it out. What are we going to do? And you know what we actually think we're going to do in October, and we start ordering the props for it, might change by the time we have it done and built because we get better ideas. But at least we're on a path. And that's the whole key right there. So I don't care about doing haunt tours anymore. I am not doing seminars at Transworld and haven't done one since 2019. I don't care. I don't care to do a seminar at Transworld and brag like most, and I have to say this because it's true. A lot of the speakers, not all of them, but a lot of them do it because they want to promote their business, promote themselves. They want to pat themselves on the back, whatever it is. I do stuff because I genuinely care. And I want to do it because I want to help you. And I know that a lot of other people do it that way too. But we all know that's not what most people do. And I'm not talking about Transworld. I'm talking about anything. You do a seminar anywhere. A lot of times there's some secret reason. The reason is because they have something to sell you. And that's why they want to do the seminar. I've always done the seminars only because I wanted to and because I cared. I'm not doing seminars. I'm not looking to become famous or have somebody come up and, all that. I'm doing it because I actually want to. And I have found it more enjoyable to share, which I have been doing for years. I've been sharing information. And you know what's really amazing? I basically got this haunted house show started in the first place. And we did the Hauntworld magazine. We did the Hauntworld.com. We did all the how-to videos. We did the first industry ever public relations program. All of these things that we've done. And the Association for the Industry has given Lifetime Achievement Awards to everybody and their grandma, but they've never given me one. And the truth is, I don't care. I just don't care. There's some people that brought it up to me and they think it's a joke or it's political, and maybe it's political, but I don't care. I have not tried to do the things that I've done for the haunted house industry to make friends or make enemies, for that matter. It's always because I'm trying to share what I really believe is true, okay? Some people don't like the truth, okay? And sometimes when you say something you think it's true, it's not true. It just turns out that way because things change, and the haunted house industry has changed. If you would have asked me 5 years what you need to do, it would be different than with me sitting in this chair. And maybe 3 years, it'll change again. And that's why you have to just keep an open mind to keep learning. And that's what I'm doing. So lastly, just to address this, I don't care if the show moves. I think it would be great if it moved to Nashville. I think it should stay, regional. I don't like Chicago. It's too expensive and it's too freaking cold there. I don't know how many times I've driven up there and it's in freezing weather in February or March. It's cold as ice. It's windy. It feels like you're being hit in the face with nails. But if it moves to Chicago, it moves to Chicago. I don't care. I just don't care. But I do want to tell everybody one thing. Do you know why the show has stayed in St. Louis and why it's still in St. Louis? It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the fact that St. Louis is a cheaper convention center, and they have the dates, and Transworld has the dates for years to come in the time frame when this show wants to happen. So Nashville is probably one of the hottest trade show markets in the United States. Vegas is probably number one. Orlando is probably two. And then I don't know for sure, but then it's probably like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago is probably number 5. So those are your top 5, okay? And then probably Nashville is like number 6. So that would be my guess, okay? So trying to get the dates you want in Nashville is next to impossible. Maybe you could book it 6 years from now. That's the kind of situation you're dealing with when you're talking about Nashville, or you're talking about Las Vegas, or you're talking about like Orlando. Did I even say Orlando? Because definitely Orlando's top 5. But these markets are so in demand that you have to book things like, in some cases, a decade in advance. They're so booked out. That's why St. Louis and, and cities like Indianapolis and Kansas City and Cleveland or Detroit, their convention centers, are more flexible. And so the other thing is St. Louis is dab smack in the middle of the country. So it's kind of fair for everybody. It's about halfway from Los Angeles to St. Louis as it is from St. Louis to New York, as an example. So it really is centrally located. The vendors want the show in St. Louis because it's fair for everybody. A lot of the vendors have year-round rental spaces here where they've rented and they store all their booth stuff here year-round. And they literally have it all here. They've kind of sort of anchored in, and they like consistency, and it's easy. If you live in Philadelphia, you can drive to St. Louis in about 14 hours. Anywhere in Florida, it's like 14 hours. If you're in Jacksonville, it's probably 10. If you live in Dallas, Texas, you could drive to St. Louis in about 8 hours-ish, 8 or 9 hours. And it's very drivable for most people. And then if you fly Southwest, you can get in here, direct flight all day long. And so that's why the show's here. Honestly, it's cheaper and it has the dates that the industry wants. But if it were to move, it would not affect me. It would not bother me. I would actually take a deep breath and say, you know, good for the show. I'm glad it's going somewhere else. And I hope that whatever city it does move to, that whatever haunt is there that might do a haunt tour, I hope they feel that same pressure that I do some great things and inspire the industry, because that's why we do it. So we look forward to seeing you here. Darkness.fearticket.com. We hope to see you here. The Darkness will open on Saturday for 800 people. It's sold out at 800. Right now it's at 425, I think. The lamp sells out at 500, and it's a little less than 200 from being sold out. The behind the scenes tour, which is on Thursday, is about 110 from being sold out, and it's really doing really well. And so we hope to see you here, and I look forward to seeing everyone. And we will be making a lot of great videos at the Transworld show. I will be stopping by a lot of vendors' booths and doing videos just on those vendors. And then we'll do a video of the whole show and the whole shebang. And you can come by and say hello. And until next time, happy hauntings. Happy Halloween. Happy pleasant screams, which is what Elvira would say. I haven't figured out an ending slogan yet. But until then,